sky's the limit for you. You know, I'm sure as time goes by, there's going to be so many new things that are going to come around. You're going to do some more amazing stuff. But most importantly is that you had support throughout the whole time. You had people who really loved what you had to offer. I mean, Greg saw that inside you. You know, Greg knew that you had so much potential in you to blow up. And maybe not potential. You just knew you had it in you already, right? He was like, okay, I need her here. You've got to come work at the store. I'm going to get your office set up while you're on vacation. I'm going to give you a manager position. And then as you do this, now I'm going to go ahead and let you slowly wean out of here. I'm going to give you, you're going to take a week. That was really, actually, I'm going to tell you.
It's a very great path.
The way you did that is classy. 25%, let me get a week off. Another 25, you know, that is how you do it. I've never even heard that before. That is genius. Great job on that, by the way.
It worked well. It was a good plan for everybody. It let them know that they could still have everything they needed and not see me there all the time. I think one time Jeff lost his crap over something because when he would shoot his commercials, I always wrote up his cue cards and I wasn't during one of his commercial shoots and someone else had to do it and it wasn't written right and he threw a little fit but then he got past it.
Well, that's, I mean, when you go through life getting used to the people that you lean on, right? So, of course, if that crutch isn't there, you're losing your mind, right, for that moment. The thing that I honor of that story so much is that, again, just leaning back to a great car guy, to Greg, is that he saw the room. He's the one that definitely deposited that room for growth, at least 1%. I mean, he's really
absolutely
in our heads when we would go down there and hang out with him. Just find a way to grow 1%. And it takes the pressure off of having to grow incredibly exponentially in the moment, right? You just get that 1% and then you can add to it. But what he had enough insight to do, because he's a great car guy, is be able to say, the market's someplace else. People are on their phone, okay? Mm-hmm. That's where they are. And if it's the little thing at the bottom of the thing that you kind of do, cool. But if you can get somebody in here to master it, and that is a master at it, you can corner that piece of the market before people start to get there. The thing is that's the other part, is putting people around you that know something you don't know. And that helped to build that relationship on two sides. One, he admitted and was real that, look, we don't know what we're doing on this, and we need an absolute expert to come in here and do so. That's you. Welcome. In the same right, giving that honor, giving that torch of expertise, also got to say, now, as much of an expert as you are at this, you don't know what you're talking about on this side. You don't know our business. You know what I mean? So this is the part where you need to shift it. And that's the thing where it's exciting for us as we look into different ventures and understanding and making the connection, is that we are car guys that do understand marketing. We understand the different flows in between all parts of this business, but connecting and learning what you know has made it to be possible for our guys to get a couple deals off of social media, our guys to be able to build up their own presence out there. And I believe that if you build your business on the strength of building your people, your business stands up stronger. Your business can weather more storms, especially when you don't just have one tool in your belt. And social media, obviously, everybody, this is really taking over. If you're listening to the show, it's because of the power of social media.
Social media is kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it's kind of a big thing, but that's, again, something that has come in honor. He honored you, you honored him, he brought somebody as an expert.
They still honor each other.
And they're still building, right?
They do.
The sky's the limit at that. And I'm just pumped about it because he shares that same passion as you do of understanding you have a connection to people. You're building businesses that are connected to jobs and families and communities. And that's where, if you have your posture towards your people, your business is going to succeed. If you feel as though your business has to be postured, or your people have to be postured just for the sake of the business, they don't get their heart there until you're actually about them. You know what I mean? It's like John Maxwell would say that people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. Right. And you're definitely in a great pioneer inside of that. And we love championing that right now, especially for car gals, right? You are now a certified 100% CGC approved car gal. And we are just honored, always honored that we can give you this stamp of approval.
Boom. Yes. Boom, right? right there.
Yeah.
So, we're having some fun this morning. We're talking about the why. We've been through some technical difficulties. We've been through a lot already. I feel like that you are officially my sister now. So, so that being said, we all come up in this business. We have a lot of fun. We have a lot of people we meet. People have helped us grow, not necessarily just the car business, but in business in general. So for you, as you were coming up in this business, as you have been mentors for other people, who has been your greatest mentor?
Well, I would probably go back to Greg quite a bit. Like, we're very good friends, and I rely on him for a lot. And then there's times whenever I have to kick his butt too and go, have you read a book this month? It's time for you to read a book. But I do have others within the industry also that I just admire and love visiting with. If you get a chance to sit down and talk with Scott Lehman at any time whatsoever and pick his brain, that guy has got his finger on the pulse of what's going on, in marketing. And he knows that to be omnipresent is one of the most important things. And I've been to dinner with him where literally we're in a nice restaurant and people that are dressed up nice having a nice dinner is just stopping and go, hey, can I take my picture with you? And he never fails to deliver. And I think that he is one of the most forward-thinking people. He's always thinking 10 steps ahead, which is fantastic. So just find those people I always just find those people who are blazing a trail somewhere and go, hey, can we get on a call? I need to talk to you about some stuff. I want 5 minutes as all I need from you. I'm not going to go, hey, let's go to lunch and then spend the whole time just racking their brain. But I am going to go, if you got 5 minutes, I'm going to be concise and ask you the things that I want to know from you and respect their time. But look for those people. I just always look for those people who are blazing a trail somewhere and doing things differently than everybody else.
And you're right on. You hit that perfect because it's so true. And those people that you reach out to that are blazing trails are happy to share. They want to share. They want people to get on board because they understand that there's not enough people with that mentality. If there was, maybe they wouldn't be the whole world would be doing it, right? It's not as easy as it sounds, and what you're doing is right on the money. What you just said is right on the money. You had Greg. Greg is a great mentor. Greg is a great friend, is what he is. He's a great person. He's a great human being. Scott Lehman, great person, great car guy, great owner, great innovator. Like you said, he's always looking for the next thing. He's never sitting there and being settled for what he has. And he has a lot. This guy has a great life. He's got dealerships. He's got stores that are running great. They're always breaking records. He's got great people put into place into those stores. I love his auto group. It's a great auto group. I'm fortunate enough to know the guy because of the Florida People, group and going down there with the rich dealers. But, getting to know him and his team members are amazing. He has a guy named Beto. I absolutely love Beto. Beto's been on our show. I love it, dude. He is a fast-growing, bad man, dude. He is a long-time car guy. He'll be in the business for a long time. He'll be an owner one day. I know he will be.
Absolutely. Well, and some other new ones right now. I mean, not new ones. I mean, I've known Tustin Ulrich for, as long as I've known Greg McCoy, Josh Negron, Echo Mayo. I mean, these people are the people that I reach out to whenever I go, hey, I don't even know what to measure here. Tell me what I should be looking at, and they never hold back for me. If I went and sat in Josh Negron's office for the next 2 hours, he would open everything and just give me or go, this, these are the things that we do to create this, blah, blah, blah. And, there's probably not a month that goes by that I don't go to lunch with Tustin and we just have a think tank. Like, let's just think of other things. What can we think of? What have you been exposed to? What have you been exposed to? And so, those, and I don't like, so Greg and Scott are the OG, right? Like, they have been doing it for a long time.
Yes.
But then you see these people coming in because, Tustin inherited Greg's legacy, right? But then went in and made it better and improved on it and brought different flavor to that dealership without deconstructing everything that was already built. And you got to look for those people who are innovating and doing things in a new and different way and then go, how did you do that? Why did you do that? Did that work? And they'll share their successes and failures with you if you'll just give them, the respect and the honor that they deserve instead of be like, oh yeah, well, you inherited a dealership. That dealership is 100% different than when Greg McCoy ran it, and not taking anything away. They just added to, and I love it.
The business changes. It's evolving every single day, and you have to evolve with the business. And when Greg left it, he left it in great shape. When Tustin took over, and Tustin's a great car guy, folks. If you guys don't know him, I'll probably have him on the show one day. You love it. He's always looking for the Edge 2. I see him doing the 800 Club. I see him doing all these things. Amazing guy. I absolutely love him. Greg's talks so highly of the guy. And like you said, he brought the dealership to a new level because he is constantly looking to evolve. But Greg had planted that seed in him. You need to evolve. You need to constantly look to grow. You know, that's just, like you said, his legacy, Greg's legacy is and Tustin's part of it. I love that. And it's great. That's a great feeling. That's all we want to do as human beings is leave something on this planet that, you know, we're part of. You know, Tustin will always talk about Greg. I 100% know it. And Greg, he'll always go on. If I asked him that same question I asked you a moment ago, Greg will be in that reply. I know it. And, but that's beautiful. And then there's people though, there's going to be plenty of people that one day we'll interview that's going to be like, Tustin is that guy, you know, but they don't realize how deep that goes. That goes because of Tustin. It was because of Greg, because of this, because of that, you know, and it's a beautiful passing of what we need to do in this business. We need to change it. We need to make it better. And there's a lot of us out there doing that. You're doing it. Greg's doing it. Tustin's doing it. You know, Glenn Lundy's doing it. We're all out there trying to evolve the way people in the United States, the average consumer, looks at the car person. It's hard. We've seen the commercials at the Super Bowl. We've seen those things. We see what the average consumer thinks of a car guy. We know it. But yet, 90% of us don't do anything to change it. Right? We all keep doing the same crap, keep lying to the customers, keep doing all this, doing that, doing whatever it takes to sell a car instead of what it really takes, being honest, being a human being, taking care of your clients, asking questions, promising what you deliver, you know, delivering what you promise, I should say. You know, but that's something that's rare to say. It's crazy. Most people in the car business try to do it the wrong way.
That's the great thing about the dealer for the people, right? Their mantra is, you know, finding solutions to the everyday problems that keep you stuck in a car that you hate. Solutions, finding solutions, right? That's the part of it. And so when you stop looking for the solution for the customer and just start selling them a car, you know, what benefit have you given them other than you took a piece of metal, moved it down the road, the people will never be back again. But if you find a solution for them, then you've changed their life.
And they will never go anywhere else besides you. Now, the only reason they wouldn't is if for some reason you weren't there anymore, they can't get a hold of you, which is crazy with social media. You should always be able to get a hold of somebody, and they should always be able to get a hold of you. So that's
if somebody got their
attention.
So there's so many trails that we can take on that because again, this is the auto industry, and this is marketing, and you always have to be able to shift. Once you're done with that 2, 3, however long hour deal that you put together for that one customer, that's it. Next, it's time to go to the next thing. It's time to figure out the next campaign. It's time to figure out the next way that you're going to help somebody else, the next solution that you're going to brew. And there's always a tiering in the levels that we go into. So, like, speaking of the legacy that gets passed down and gets pulled forward, you have people that will build a massive skyscraper. And it's not the same person that handles the interior as the one that laid the foundation. You have an entirely different crew that shows up to set that foundation, put that foundation in place so that something could be built upon. Then you have a whole other team show up to lay the steel, lay the wood, whatever the framing is of that. Then there's the aesthetic part, the way that it looks. And then after it's all built and everybody sees how great and magnificent it is, you have to fill the offices. And then you have to maintain it, right? So there's a team that goes to maintain it. And then eventually after this big, massive, wonderful construction is working and it's doing all of its things, then it gets upgraded, right? It gets changed. The piece of it gets pulled away and then it gets upshifted and uplifted. And the thing about the culture that you're talking about, like Scott, is that he is so focused on seeing a legacy continue that he understands that, yes, right now he's a face that can't go to a high-end restaurant without being spotted and somebody getting, hey, man, you want to take the selfie with me real quick? You know what I mean? I understand that. And sometimes that's why people limit their exposure, right? Bam. And that's something that, as annoying as it could be, he understands the seeds that he's sowing so that he can see somebody like Echo, his daughter, take the reins to build up and take pieces of this business and go to the next level. That's what we were talking about earlier. You find the people that you can trust to go into that growth with. You find people that then you can empower to grow it their way. And then you get to clap and say, hey, fantastic, you're doing it. I'm sure that Greg, I already know he is because I see his face when he speaks about Tustin. and how he's growing and how
Mm-hmm.
he's leading his team and where that is going, because he knows he dropped that seed. But Greg has the people to attribute his growth to as well, just like
no doubt.
just like
Everybody
we do.
does, yeah.
And the biggest thing is to stay focused on leaving that legacy where other people can take a piece of what you deposited in their hand and make something great with it without having to worry about whether or not you're going to be upset that it might look better than the way that you had it. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make you less by,
Right.
I mean, it will never make you less by helping someone be more.
Oh my gosh. Say that again.
One more time.
Dude, give me that one more time.
That's right. It will never make you less by helping someone else be more.
Boom.
Boom. Show's over.
All right, cool, guys. Drop the mic. We'll see
Done.
y'all later. You guys have a great day. We'll see you next week. All right, so that is a great, powerful, profound statement right there. So true. So simple. But there's Beto right there. They're so true.
Hello.
So simple, but most people don't get it. And I don't understand why they don't. You know, it's like they don't want to give up something. Like you said earlier, they don't want to help somebody elevate because they don't want somebody to be better than them. But that's not the case. That is not the case. There's no such thing as you're better than me.
I hope everybody that works for me gets better than me. You know, I would be so happy if I just saw them out learning something and they said, Robin, I have to show you this. I know you don't know it. I want to show you something that I learned today. And I would just be like so excited that they knew something. I'll tell you one of the things that whenever I was at the dealership, every dealership has a gatekeeper, right? Gatekeeper is the one who keeps all the people who come there pitching stuff from the GM. So you have to sit through every presentation, demo, whatever, and then decide which ones filter on to the king. And every time someone would demo something and it was something I didn't know, this is a true story. So this lady came to pitch our service department. This was probably late 2014. For like $2,000 a month, we'll take all of your service customers' email list, drop them into Facebook, create a custom audience, and then market to them, blah, 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 blah. And at the time, I didn't even know you could do that. I didn't know. And so back in my office Googling, how do you do this thing right? I'm like, you don't need to spend that $2,000 because I'm getting ready to learn this thing. And so every time I would set through a demo, I would go, I didn't know that could happen. Let me learn how to do that. Let me learn how to do that. And so if everybody that works for me, gets exposed to something and then goes and learns how to do it and they bring, fantastic. I mean, if they leave here and go run their own social media agency, fantastic.
That's exactly.
Plenty of room for everybody.
Yes.
You're talking about abundance out there, folks. Abundant.
Absolutely.
There's so much, and I hate to use the word money, but there's so much money in this world. We just got to go.
So much wealth.
Yeah, wealth. That's a good word of putting it. There's so much wealth in this world. Go after it. We all deserve it. We all can get a piece of it. And the people who are the wealthiest have so much excessive abundance of wealth that they're willing to share too. They just need people who want it. They want people to come up there and take that money the way they're supposed to. They're not sitting there. They're not going to give it to you. You got to earn that. You got to work hard. You got to grind. You got to keep growing. You got to forgive, focus, fly. You got to do all those things, right? But when you do that, that money will come to you, and like you said earlier, in abundance. Yep. And it will. And it will come to you, and you won't even realize it's happening. You're like, man.
It'll chase you down.
It will. It literally will.
Find you. If you're doing the right thing, if you're sowing the right seeds, the fruit is naturally going to come. It's just the way of actual order. And when you put people before profits,
yep.
And you look at your relationship over your revenue, and you see how it is that you relate to people. Because remember, whatever the product is, you're still delivering it to a human. This is another human being right here next to me, right there across from us. And we appreciate the people. And
that's funny. So my Apple Watch, every hour goes off and says, stand up. And so I do. So every hour I stand up, and our building is kind of set up like a big circle. Like you just walk around this big old circle, and I just get up every hour and I walk through, and it's funny because I'll walk in there and go, hello, humans. And they're like, hello, Robin. So they are. I mean, you just have to understand all of these humans. I mean, while I have them here today, they belong to me, and it's my job to take care of them, to the best of my ability.
And they want to see the most out of them.
And they want that from you, and when you show that you care and that you want to invest inside each one of those people every single day, they're going to invest in you too. They're going to invest in that business. They're going to take ownership of what they do every single day.
And give their best. They're not going to give kind of their best. When people are inspired by the coach that they play for, they pour out their best. When they're inspired by the people that they get to team up with, they give their best. And when they're encouraged, and I'm going to say it again, encouraged to give their best, told that, hey, sometimes you may not have hit your best mark right now. That doesn't change your value to me. Your value to me is still a person that I honor and value. You may not be doing what is expected of you at the moment, but I appreciate you. I want what's best for you.
Yes.
Go do it. I encourage you to do so. I believe in you. Everybody has a bad day. Everybody.
You can only lead them as high as they want to go.
Exactly.
Right. And you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay with the fact that this is where they want to be, and then push them to that. Right. But the next guy next to them maybe want at this level, and it's okay to take them to that level, but you have to be okay with the level that they want to be at. One of our core values is that we provide merit-based opportunities for employee advancement, which means, number one, I don't care if you've been here 10 years, if you are not hitting your numbers, if you're not doing the things merit-based, right? And if you've been here 1 month, merit-based. So it's not like the guy that's been here 10 years is going to get the promotion just because he's been here 10 years. You know, come in, do the job. And if you do the job, I don't even care if you've been here 1 week, 1 month, whatever, you're going to the top. We're going to push you up that ladder. And, we have a, outsourced BDC. And whenever we started it, I started with 6 seats. And in 30 days, we outgrew the room that I had 6 seats in. And our room is now 16 seats, and I'm moving back into the 6 seats again, and then another 4 seats. So like by the end of this month, I'll almost be out of room for that. I probably am. But one of the things I told them, I knew that we were going to go here because, when COVID hit, 2 things happened in BDCs across dealerships. One is that the dealerships gutted their BDC and said the salespeople can take care of all the leads. And we all know that salespeople that's not their strong point, is getting on the telephones. It's just not. And the second thing that happened is most BDCs are filled with women. And when the children got sent home to be homeschooled during that time, they lost a huge majority of their BDRs. And we really hadn't planned on having a BDC full force in 2020. We planned on spending 2020 as a year of research and development on getting all of our processes fine-tuned with a couple of small clients that we could just work through all of our processes with. And we just got shoved forward and just kept getting shoved forward, which is a great thing. But whenever I moved that team out to the 16 seats out here, I walked out there because my original 6 moved out, and then we were filling up seats. And I said, I'm telling you right now, at the end of 2021, we're going to have a 100-seat BDC, and I need 5 leaders to come out of this group right now. I need 5 leaders that are going to rise up and start becoming leaders before you even have the title. And I said, I don't want to hire a leader. I want to grow one. So you guys tell me what you need to grow to that level, and I will give you every bit of support I can for you guys to get there, because I need you to get there as much as you want to be there. And they are killing it. I mean, our core team that we started with is still here. It's fantastic. I think I've only lost 1 person out of the BDC of those core 6 that we started with. And it's fantastic. We just have a great culture here, and they want to learn and they want to be more. And at their last jobs, they were never encouraged that they could have anything they want.
Wow.
You are an amazing leader. So, to me, it gets as simple as that old saying, follow the leader. You know, and the leader will tell you what's going on. If you go to anywhere and you walk into a business, look for the leader. You see what the leaders, what they're doing. That basically tells you what the rest of their team's going to do. You know, because the leader, everybody does what the leader's doing. If the leader's lazy, the team's going to be lazy. If the leader doesn't care about their team, they don't care about each other. If the leader, so it's all reflective on what's going on at the top. Fish rots from the head down, right? So you have to make sure you're a good leader. And I love these points that you're putting out. Folks, if you're a leader out there right now, or you're wanting to become a leader, take some notes today. I hope you have been. I mean, these notes they're precious. Taking care of your people, encouraging them to grow, finding leadership within your team, and taking challenges like 2020, a year that you were going to do something completely different, some research development, kind of break it down, get with your current, clients that like you said, and work on those things, fine tune them. But yet that didn't happen. You had to do something else. You had to fine tune it a whole different way. You got slapped with stuff. You lost BDRs. There were so many things that were going on during that time, but you grew. And
I failed a lot, and I was okay with it.
No, that's how you grow. You can't grow without failure. That's what the fact of the matter. Everybody out there, you know it. If you didn't fail, you weren't even trying. You have to fail a lot to be able to. If you're not trying, you won't fail at all. I promise. It's okay. If you don't want to fail, don't try. But if you're trying, you're going to fail so much. But yet you find those failures as success because you're like, man, I'm glad I got that over with. Now I know what to do. I got that over with. Now I know what I don't want to do next time, right? So there's so many things that come with that, the failures. But failure just sounds like a bad word. But when you change your mindset and think of failure as a good word, like, oh, great. That's one less thing I have to worry about before I get to the champion. That's why I used to tell myself.
To success.
That's why I tell all my salespeople, listen, you may pull 5 credit bureaus in a row, can't sell a car. You're not a failure. You're that much closer to doing 3 or 4 in a row that can. That is that's the way world works.
One of my favorite books is by Andy Andrews. It's called The Traveler's Gift. And if you haven't read it, I read it once a year. And one of the things that he says is that God did not give me the ability to make 100% right decisions, but he did give me the ability to make a decision and then to make it right. And so the thing is that so many people get stuck waiting to make that perfect decision. It's like, just make a decision. And then from what you've learned from that decision, then make that decision right.
That's the importance of grace, right? And that you give yourself grace as you give others grace to have the failures, to have the mishaps, to have the great ideas. Money gets poured into it. It's a flop. Okay, we get it. That's not going to work. Let's do something else. Let's adapt and overcome. And I mean, that's something that we did in the military, right? If we were dealing with a problem and there wasn't a standard operation procedure to go through, there wasn't a manual to read, we said, well, adapt and overcome.
That's it.
Figure it out and continue to move forward. You charge forward. And the thing that you pointed out there is about your people that are comfortable. That is, I mean, guys, that is a great jewel inside of what she said, is understanding where people are actually happy. Some people that got to the level that they're at, you don't understand that's the best they've ever been. That's the greatest achievement that they've achieved, is to get to that seat that they're in, having the success that they've had. Other people have already felt that, seen that, and are hungry for more. The great passion that I have is to taking the guys that follow us, our salespeople, our coaches, and letting them see life differently, putting different food in front of them, because some of them just don't know different foods. Here's a gift card to a restaurant you would never, ever go to or put your own money up to go to. Go there, eat there, experience that, see that, and that, boom, that changes the I didn't know you can eat like that. I didn't know there's somebody that's going to come clean up my crumbs while I'm in the middle of getting my next course, right? I didn't know that. And I know, because I know me. I know what that was like. I know what my interview outfit looked like when I came into the car business. I had to learn how to dress like a grown-up in the car business and church culture, right? I figured it out as I went through time, but I was excited when I got that first base model shirt in the box. You know what I mean? With the tie. You know what I mean? I was pumped up. I thought I was doing something. I was a big boy now. And I was so proud of it, so happy with that. And then I learned how to upgrade from there and go to the next level. And you have to understand where people are at. They're not going to be where you're at. And even if they are,
but some people don't want to be, Lou, not to cut you out, but there's some people who don't. And like Robin said, and I love that. And I'm glad you bring that point back up, because you got to remember something as a leader, that not everybody is you. They're not going to think like you. They're not going to want to get to where you're at. Some of them are you. Some of them are just happy to have a job, right? But our job is to encourage them, as they grow. Some people, I know in my time, there was times I was satisfied. I was like, man, I'm at a good spot. This is good. But as time went by, I started realizing I'm dying. I'm not growing anymore. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for other people. Sometimes it took a little longer for me. I'm in my 40s. Don't get me wrong. I've been in this car business a long time, and I felt like I've been a superstar the whole time. But I really realized over the last handful of years that there's so much more potential than what I was doing. So that being said, sometimes it takes a little longer for people, but you encourage them up to the level they want to be. And you do that really well. And you have to understand, some people want to be you. Some people want to be this person. Some people just encourage them to be the best version of themselves, period. And when you get the best out of them, the best of them, that's it. They're giving you their 110, but their 110 isn't going to be your 110. It's never going to be your 110.
Oh, never.
It could be better. Who knows? But what I mean is, no one is exactly like you. We're all individuals. That's why we focus on being the best version of ourselves, but encouraging other people to do that too. And that's the giving part. And Robin, I love it, because you're bringing up such great points. And those are all are exactly right on my frequency. And
That's
I
why
love
she's on the show, folks. So while we're doing this flow here, I mean, again, we can talk forever, and we and some, like you said, some things take a little bit longer, like to get on the show today, right? We ran into so many issues that
it's going smooth now, though.
And what we figured out, hey, this is working, this is not working. And it's very easy to say, you know what, chalk it up. We're not going to be able to do the interview today. We're not starting on time. It's not going to be the way it is. We're embarrassed. We look like we don't know what we're doing because the internet, there's a cause that we don't have control over. Sometimes you don't have control over the things that happen. You don't have control over the weather. You do not have control over what actually happens inside of the stock market outside of your investments.
Right.
And so when things get crazy, it's very easy to chalk it up and get mad and start pointing fingers and, what could go wrong? And then you lose faith in other people. But that's an opportunity to grow.